Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Saturday, August 8th, 2020, and today's topic is called Red Sky Plus. It's a collection of images and sky observations happening July 29th through August 4th, 2020. And today is 8/8, so big Leo energy going on. It's Lion's Gateway, or Lion's Gate, which is an opening or window of increased cosmic energy moving between the physical and spiritual realms. And if you're not familiar with it, go have a look on the internet. It's an interesting phenomenon. If you're already familiar with it, have a good one. All right, before we get going with the sky observations, I'd like to say good day. Osio, hao, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, dzień dobry, konnichiwa, dobro huenya, annyeonghaseyo, boa tarde, dobry den, aloha winala, kalimera, and guten dag. And this little starter image is just of some exhibition water skiing happening in Florida a few years ago. Okay, now the first sky observation image is called Craft Atop Cloud Disturbance. So in the upper right hand corner you see an overall collection of cloud. I thought it was very odd looking, especially with this dark gray one in the foreground. So I was noticing this ellipse happening, kind of looks backlit. So I zoomed in on that down here, and as you can see, I enhanced it a bit. And when I say enhanced, I just mean altering the contrast, the brightness, the color, things like that, the hue, just to try to draw out some objects and forms a little better. So in this case, when I did that, not only did I see some interesting things happening with this pointed ellipse, but voila, it looks like a craft just perched on the top there. And you can see it in the original photo there a little bit too. So I zoomed in on the left, trying to pull out a little bit more, and I see triangular forms, regular openings, look like they have design to them. This looks like bent metal. This looks like a bumper or piece in front of this craft. And zoomed in even more to get that bent metal look. I mean, it looks like with intent. So see what you think. I definitely see a craft there. All right, now the red sunset by sea I'm showing here is thanks to a very kind Lavender Sky Panther viewer for sending this photo in. It's also the cover credit photo of looking at our sunset from the bay in Miami, Florida. So already I see the dark veiling cloud rolling in, this big heavy blanket of dark gray beyond. Weird cloud activity here as well as here, totally different types of cloud form. This looks like the artificial type clouds I've been seeing, and I tell you why I think that is in other shows if you have a look there. But in the meantime, we'll just appreciate the range of colors. So we go from red, sky, orange and yellows, even up to blue over here. Very interesting, very beautiful photo. Okay, the same day, watching this red sunset sequence by land, we get a much different impression. So I'm going to have a lot of sunset and sunrise sequences coming up ahead. I usually walk you through them, but in interest of keeping a decent running time, a tight running time on the show, I am going to defer to you if you can kindly just look at each frame on your own and look at the timestamps and the direction in the sky that you're looking. And I'll just leave it at that for now. Here's another continuation of that sunset sequence, viewing it from land this time. And you see we get a very different impression. We can't catch that red sky as well. We catch some other things though. Alright, so here's a zoom in on one of those views from the sequence. I'm calling it Artificial Cloud Column and Craft at Sunset. So here, looking to the northwest, and again, not west, where typically the sun used to set anyway in decades past. It's moving more and more to the north by the moment, each day. But anyway, we see this column, and it just feels like a very artificial type thing, because look at it's going down, really, down past the horizon, which we usually don't see from the land, from this viewpoint. And then we have this really yellow, stuff kind of happening beyond. But then this struck me as odd. It just felt very craft-like. I've just been seeing a ton of more structure in the sky that I'm calling craft, really in the last couple of weeks, and I've not really seen them before, and they're just now starting to pop up. So people talk about the veil lifting or thinning between the 3D plane and the 4D or astral plane. Look into that more if you're not familiar with that. But I think that may be happening because I haven't been seeing craft, and now suddenly I am in the past, like I said, couple weeks, certainly like 2 to 3 weeks. It's really ramping up that activity. So anyway, I'm looking in the upper right-hand corner, and this looks like two more triangular forms to me. Looks like something that could be engineered, not just a simple cloud going by. See what you think. Okay, now this is called Battleship in Clouds. It's back again. So if you looked at my immediate prior show to this, you will see I feature, sketch overlays on what looks like a battleship in the clouds. And here you go. And I took some of the exact sketched material from before, and I just scaled it down to match this photo, and it's almost exact what's happening. Just the little gunner position is straight up, and before it was further out. But this curve is here, this turret is here, and it just evoked like a World War II ship or like U-boat type thing. Anyway, I'm seeing it down here because I was looking at the horizon and thought, oh, what are these things? And then I saw that form. So it's pretty remarkable if that's the case. And I'm not sure if it's the same craft I saw the day before or a different one. But look, here's the one from before. I'm just reviving this from the previous show. Just to show you, it showed up again 2 days in a row. I am pretty astonished about that. Alright, now this is looking, I was again looking here and seeing it kind of fall apart a little bit, but it's back, and then I'm looking up here. What is this in the upper right? So as I've mentioned before, when I look at an overall really dark photo in terms of like gray cloud or even anything covered with color that isn't white, happening and popping up, I take notice. So even here, it looks like another triangular outline form. That could be what I call the cloud maker in a previous show. Have a look at that and see why I say that. But anyway, here I'm zooming in to see what it is. It looks like it has some shadow to it. Not sure what it is though. And then it moves over in this frame up a little bit, so I'm saying, what is this? So again, based on things that I've observed in my previous shows and previous weeks, I think this white orb type thing creates light or backlighting on clouds. See what you think. Okay, this is photo credit goes to Sungazer77. Thank you so much for sending this great photo in, because it perfectly illustrates that we've got white and yellow activity happening over with the setting sun, which below it is red and orange, warmer tones happening. So this is actually the same day as the sunset from the cover photo. So up in the upper left-hand corner, I pushed the enhancements to exaggerate the fact that we've got red-orange and we've got yellow and white. So light physics is basic. We know that yellow-white does not equal or generate orange-red. So right in between, I know you can't tell from the overpass, but there's this big blanket of cloud, heavy, heavy cloud. So what is going on, in there, between here and here to create and generate two totally different colors? Now, if you look at some of my other shows and in the description box below, it talks about what could be causing that, especially if it happens to be a red planetary body not far offshore from the Earth, creating that, and see why I'm saying that in other shows that I've done, and also have a look on the internet and YouTube, other YouTube channels, Sky and Earth Watching channels. They also give some of their theories, and there's a lot of credibility to a lot of them. So anyway, up here I'm noting localized artificial cloud cover and or cloaking craft. So in the upper right hand corner, this just reminds me of an indicator of, something that's maybe cloaking, because there's some weird kind of chaotic vapor disturbance in here. And then down here, this is just odd looking, cloud. I use that term loosely, and texture in it. So there could be craft in there. Hard to say. Whatever the case, it's rolling in to be yet another layer to obscure the sunset. Okay, this is called artificial cloud plus atmospheric disturbance at sunset. Now here, there's just so much going on, more than I can really spend time on for today. But you've got, at the bottom, sorry, I'm trying to get my cursor, that heavy blanket again that does a total mask out for us to not see what's going on as the quote-unquote ball of the sun, hits the horizon. Then we've got weird cloud activity, very weird cloud structure, not really known to us in decades past here on this planet, nor this. Have a look here. This is all some kind of chaotic disturbance. This has a little bit of an elliptical form to me, and the way this motion of this shows like a swooping motion. Perhaps something is cloaking in here, arriving or departing. This is like this standing cloud to me is very artificial, because we've got this frayed out triangular edges to it that I cover in other shows. Just pops up seemingly locally in a vertical blast. Again, moving in to be one more layer and level of obscuring what we can see at sunrise and sunset. In this case, mostly sunsets. Sorry, I'm going to head back. This little thing is just a plane, so I zoomed in to show you that. Alright, now this is artificial cloud and wisps at sunset. Here's again the standing cloud that then puddles out so you can't see anything eventually. But what was weird is again we've got this strange wispy, like they've been jostled, or I don't know what's going on there. It's not our typical wisps if you look at previous shows I've done as well. But anyway, here's also some strange, just kind of like, it looks almost like a Hershey's Kiss, like a morsel, a chocolate chip morsel here in shape. But again, it's all chaotic activity. So is that overall thing a craft cloaking, or is it this sphere in front, or is it a layering of a whole bunch of stuff? I don't know. And when we see that, is it a real like 3D object coming out of cloaking or going in, or is it just something interdimensional? There's so many possibilities. See what you think. Oh, and down here too, we got that heavy blanket again, another artificial cloud, all rolling in coincidentally in quotes, wink wink, right at sunset to obscure our view. Okay, this is a sunrise sequence this time. Once again, I'm going to ask you to walk through these on your own and, taking care to note, all the strangeness that's going on in cloud form especially. And it gets even stranger by the minute, literally. So look at this. I've just never seen anything ever like this, ever. And at the same time, we have some of these curved dome things. Then we have this, something like this moving along. Just really bizarre. So we're going to have to zoom in now and take a look at some of these things. So this is looking to the north in that sunrise sequence. Look at this. So we've got oval or ellipse and a pointed ellipse happening here. So I'm just asking, is it two elliptical cloaking craft? Is it portals or something else? So it also could be a red herring. If you look up in the upper left, I've changed the contrast to see things a little bit better. What I mean by red herring is like a diversion cloak, maybe. I'm just toying with that theory. Is it like, oh, look over here, but in reality, the guts and heart of things are happening in here, cloaked? I don't know. See what you think, though. Okay, this one is heavy gray blanket cloud and craft at sunrise. So look at this heavy blanket again. The sun should be popping up somewhere here. But look at all these levels of veiling that I'm not going to be able to see that. And so what I do is look at the profile and look for any irregularities. And I sure do see a lot here. So I zoomed in. And it looks like these worm-like things are sprouting up more. I'm seeing a lot of these squiggly worm or snake-like things. I'm going to get to a really good illustration of that in a minute. And also, this looks like a bigger craft cloaking coming in or out of it. Over here, this looked also like it had very specific edges and dark pieces. So I zoomed in, and sure enough, there are. Put a little slightly different contrast on it, and this looks very regular, like it has design to it. And I believe this is an overall part of some kind of craft. We just can't see it all through the heavy cloak material. Alright, this is cloaking snails and worms, objects at sunrise. So again, seeing these little worm-like things and strands. Maybe they're part of something bigger, but that's all we can pick out. And then over here, this just looked like an interesting detailed feature, so I zoomed in. Just reminds me of a snail. See what else you find in this photo. Alright, this is Cloaking Dark Objects at Sunrise. Kind of speaks for itself. Look at this. This just was too odd not to zoom in a little bit, change contrast on, and share. There's definitely a triangular form in there with some tufted cloud as part of the cloaking mechanism. Okay, this is Cloaking Objects at Sunrise. I thought I was going to, actually, if you look at the upper right-hand corner of the original photo, I thought once I changed contrast and brightness, this big elongated triangle would pop up to something interesting, but actually the object next to it did. So this didn't really yield much when I put extreme contrast, but this did more so, seems to be a point or, something happening in there, a darker object happening there. This might be a little something designed, hard to tell. But still odd enough, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Okay, gets even odder with Cloaking Dark Objects at sunrise. This looks like a little convoy of ships heading across, that's all I can say. It's uncharacteristically dark gray compared to everything else in the same plane. There are little puffs, there's right angles, there's triangle, there's domed things, all happening. This looks like a football, this looks like cloaking material, all over these things. So again, things are fuzzy and distorted. But look, all of this is in focus, so this is how it was appearing in the sky. Also shows me presence of some type of energy source happening in there to do this, to whack it out in the camera. And then this looks like some type of something strange too that maybe I can't quite put a finger on, but I've been seeing this phenomenon come and go where it just seems like somebody puts masking tape over your lens, but yet it isn't, So again, have a little look at this image on your own time, see what you find. Like I see an outline of an ellipse here again. It's just really strange. Okay, and speaking of really strange, Cloaking Dark Objects at Sunrise continued. On the left is this the original photo. On the right is contrast to pull things out. Look at this thing. Now to me, this isn't even craft. It's more like a living organism. And maybe something from the 4D astral plane that now we're able to see. I'm not sure. But you've got to admit, at least I've never seen anything like this in our skies. And little by little, like each week, each day, more and more stuff, just bizarre, more bizarre by the minute, starts popping up in the skies, especially at sunrise and sunset. So see what you think this is. In the upper part too, we see again the triangular form, maybe overlays of these things. Are they imprints of craft? Are they some types of sensors or film or monitoring devices? I don't know, but I just know that we don't see triangular forms in the sky unless it's of some type of construct, whether human-made or ET-made or collaboration. Or interdimensional. I'm not sure where those are coming from and what they're doing, but I am sure that I'm seeing them consistently now for months on end. Alright, this is another sequence. This time it's a red, pink, purple sunset. Again, kindly walk through on your own. I'm just going to mention that this seems to be that artificial fray and stuff of column cloud like just shooting up. Note the color changes. This really went all over the place in terms of color, to the point that it went down like from a peach pink to, like with a flip of the switch, somebody even commented locally, to like a purple violet. And we've got a rectangular cloud and other oddities happening. Look over here in the middle right, rectangular cloud plus other stuff. What is going on in our skies these days? Okay, here's the question, another question of the day. This is called red, pink mist, light, or effect from beyond question here. We've got pink, like a pink mist or light. I'm not sure what it is. This is the effect of the sunset, which was golden, but also a little more orange, but definitely not this color. So I changed the contrast just to illustrate, exaggerate the point. Look at that color, it's different from this. Two totally different light signatures. So the question is, where is this pink-red color coming from? Is it localized? Is it a colored mist or light generating from something that is imperceptible to the human eye? Or is it reflecting from a planetary body beyond a very heavily veiled atmosphere? Or something entirely different altogether? I don't know, but that's the question for you. Okay, this is truly bizarre. This is a mysterious red-pink light or mist during approaching tropical storm. So this was happening during the coming, it was tropical storm, hurricane, Isaias, and just something turned really red and pink. I was looking out the windows, so I said, okay, let's go out and see what's going on. So there was this really mysterious, it didn't really even seem like a smoke. It was more like a light, but it was very elusive and hard to pinpoint, but just kind of floated around in the sky. So the question is why? What is that doing there? There was no point of directional source, and actually you can kind of see the outline. It was just some big light orb. But it was faint, but present enough to detect it. And so the two lower photos, I just really pushed the contrast and a few other things so you could really see it. And you can see this ball, right, of that warm light. Now this looks like it might be a triangle hiding in the background. Anyway, I'm not sure what was generating it or why it was there. That's a real head scratcher, and I put it out to you too to see what you think it is. Okay, this gets exciting. Snake objects and cloud at sunrise, question mark. I'm not a fan of snakes, but look at this. This looks like a cobra or some very organic organism, life form. This looks like, I don't know what it's popping up out of, or if that's a craft near it. I don't think that this is like a periscope or some machine part structure coming off of some type of craft. I do believe it just seems more organic, like a life form, but I don't know if that's something popping up off of the 4D astral realm, or what, or just something interdimensional popping up from elsewhere. I have no idea. See what you think. But this is a frame a little bit later, and look at, this is like an outstretched thing. Seem to be craft nearby. So what is this relationship? What is going on? I'd really love to know, but there's so much smoke and mirrors, so to speak. I really can't tell. Let me know if you have any interesting theories based on anything solid, or if it's just something fun and creative. I'm open to hearing anything. All right, now this is odd cloud forms at sunrise. Once again, upper left-hand corner, look at this. So we've got this whole collection of, I don't know what happening. This looks like lenticular cloud form, which I've talked about before. Truly, like, only seems to form above things like places like Mount Shasta, like high altitude cold air. with wind. And here this is subtropical Florida with no wind on this particular day. So why is that forming? To me, that must be a craft, and that's the method of cloaking, which doesn't really fit with this locale. Then we have this like orb-like thing happening, looks backlit, something happening here maybe. And look at this smoky thing, looking like it's going down to the ground. There was no smoke like barbecue or fire. I was present in the area, so that just seemed to pop up. Again, a lot of oddities. I'm putting them out here. I probably have more questions than answers, but I just want to record this, and maybe some of you out there have some ideas on this. Okay, this is called Artificial Cloud Wisps at Sunset. So again, overall odd installation and collection of varied cloud forms. This seems to be an artificial shelf or heavy blanket rolling in, again, to obscure the sunset, right on time as always. And then other kind of chaotic things happening. So what caught my attention in this one that I could really like point a finger at and show you as an object is here. If you see this palm frond spike over here in the upper left, it's like an ellipse, and it seemed to have a hard edge on the ring part of it, and I just zoomed in and you see it a little bit better. Take some time with this photo, maybe you see some other things that I don't call out. Okay, so I'd like to say thank you for hanging out here a while. This is the photo of the week, which is just really odd that we have these two forms that seem to be mirroring each other, you know, this little flip up back there. So there might be something very interesting happening beyond that and a story to tell. But for now, I'm going to leave you with that image. And it is Saturday where I am, so wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying a beautiful weekend and a beautiful now. I wish you all the best always and tremendous peace. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.